get to the big fish. What do y'all think?
Oof.
Let's get to the big fish.
Sir, the shark's in the water.
Yo, let's get to the big fish. All right, so look, let's start off with a guy I go back and forth on. Some days I like him, some days, James Harden, right?
Mm-hmm.
He opts into his deal, right? Many people thought he was going to opt out and negotiate or try to drum up some type of interest as a free agent, right? I think the problem with that was there wasn't a big market for James Harden. I don't think the market was as big as he thought it was, right? Because a lot of teams don't have cap space. There's only a couple out there that really do, right? Yeah. So it was a good move. He opts in, right? He helps Daryl Morey out on one hand, right? Because that's his guy, right? Yeah. From Houston, right? He helps Daryl Morey out.
It's like his right hand.
And then he gives himself a chance to get traded to a contender, right? As long as the salaries match up and everything, financially works. I think that was a very smart move, right? The first two names I've heard, I was Zero Dark 30 today, so I didn't hear as much. But the first two names I heard were the Clippers and the Knicks, right?
We don't need them.
First, the Knicks, no, stop that. Stop. Mm-hmm. I don't even really believe that's true. Ed, you brought up the Clippers is interesting. I don't know if there's enough balls on the Clippers to go around if he goes over there with Paul George, Kawhi, and him, with himself. And I think Eric Gordon just got released.
Yeah,
that freed up some salary cap money. Mm-hmm. So they look like they might be in play for him. I say that to say this. You brought up something when it first happened yesterday, Ed, that you were kind of thinking maybe a three-way type of trade.
Three-way trade. On, right? Yeah, three-way trade, because I don't see a big three. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
No, you go. Good.
I don't see a big three of Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi. I don't see how that's working. And then, I've been hearing through the channels that they really are going to bring back Russell Westbrook. So where does that leave the other? If you bring in a Harden with Russell, Kawhi, Kawhi ain't going a damn place. He ain't going nowhere. He's staying there. So Paul George is the guy that they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's ship him off. So I was thinking I was thinking a three-way trade between Knicks, Philly, and Clippers. That we send RJ to Philly, we get PG, and they get James Harden. That's just my dream scenario that I concocted in my mind.
What do I sign?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's
what do I sign?
If I was a GM, I'll pull that trade.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do you think about him going to Miami, Q? I'm hearing that as well.
Harden?
Yeah, Pat Riley. He let Strus go. Right, Strus walked out the door.
Vincent left.
Hey, Vincent walked out the door. Pat Riley's cooking.
Mm-hmm.
We're either gonna see Dame. I think we're either gonna see Dame Lillard. I possibly.
There's traction on Dame Lillard. There's traction on Dame
Lillard, and I wouldn't be surprised if Harden popped up there too. They need another bucket like we do. What's your take on Harden? I don't think Harden is a winning player, but that's my opinion.
He disappears in the playoffs.
Yeah, he runs away when shit's no good. He ran out of Brooklyn. He ran out of Houston. Now he's running out of Philly. Q, what's your take on James Harden, and where do you think he might end up in when all the cards are done being shuffled?
Damn, that's what's crazy, man. That shit's like the Oklahoma City effect.
Oof.
Between him, KD, and Russell Westbrook, it's just like, damn, it's always there. I feel like every season everybody's trying to get on Family Feud to see like what team they're gonna be on next. But I could see him going. Pat Riley's a G. I could see him going there. I do not see Damian Lillard going to Miami. I just don't. I feel like him and Jimmy Butler are not gonna mesh well. I really do, man, because I guarantee. And then especially when it comes to playoff time. Especially when it comes to playoff time. Because when it comes to playoff time, and granted, if they're gonna get Damian Lillard, they're gonna lose more than just Max Shoes, Gabe Martin. They're gonna lose a little bit more than that. It's not gonna be an even trade. Like, they ain't no even trade just to get Damian Lillard. That dude's damn near probably one of the top 5 best point guards in the league right now.
And shooters,
you know,
and shooters,
which is crazy. So they're gonna lose shooters. So whatever shooters that Miami Heat want to give up, I'll take them niggas on the Knicks.
Well, Strus went to Cleveland already. I wanted Strus. He was on my Christmas list.
Gabe Vincent
and Gabe Vincent left, but. You know, it's just.
You said Gabe.
I just don't. I mean, game on, but I just don't see that happening. And for James Harden, I could see that being more realistic thing. You know, because James Harden, what's he's giving you? He's giving you probably like 12, 13 assists a game. You know, he can get people in the right direction. But yo, bro, I still want James Harden, the James Harden that can score a bucket. What happened to the Houston Rockets, James Harden?
Yeah,
you know, I want that step back James Harden. I'll even take the 6-man Oklahoma City James Harden. I'll take that James Harden. Like that James Harden is gone and left. And I'm still trying to figure out. You know, I don't know what's going on with him and Embiid. But if it can't work out between a point guard and the center, something is very wrong.
And that's one thing too. Like he played a little bit out of his element because he's a shooting guard.
I was getting ready to say that. Good point.
Yeah, and he played point guard. Exactly. He played this year 58 games with Philly, and he averaged.
He can dish though. He can dish. When he was on the Nets, he was dishing. Not
even with Philly, he played 58 games with Philly and averaged 10.7 in the season, and he averaged what? I got it here. He averaged eight assists in the playoffs. You know, 28 and 6. So you know he shows that when he's on the court and he's healthy, he's a baller. But the thing about James Harden, why I don't want him on the Knicks or whatever, is that he disappears when the lights are bright.
He's the A-Rod of basketball, in my opinion. Remember how A-Rod used to disappear when them lights got super bright? And I like A-Rod. Shout out to A-Rod. No disrespect. I don't think he's a winning player, man. He didn't win in Houston. He had Dwight Howard. He had Chris Paul. He had help me out here. Who else he had?
He was 2 games away from the finals.
Right. He's had KD. He's had Russell Westbrook. He's had a plethora of all NBA All-Stars, man.
Supporting cast. Yes.
Right. So I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, I'm thankful. I don't want him on the Knicks. I don't see him going to the Knicks. But I will say this: I don't know who James Harden is because I believe game 1 or 2 against the Celtics, he dropped a 40-piece on them.
Yeah,
and the step back was looking crisp, and the crossover was looking good, and he looked spry. And then there's games that he has 9 and maybe 14 assists. I still think he has a lot of value. I don't think he's not a scrub by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's not.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's not a bona fide like your man Stephen.
I don't know where he is. I think on Houston he can go there and average 45 with the young boys if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits in with other. I just don't know. And I think Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, I just don't see that as a good move. But they do want to make a splash because that window's closing on them. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just don't see him coming to the Knicks. If it's already questionable in the air that RJ can't even perform when the lights is there, you telling me we're gonna settle for 2 people who might not be there when the lights is bright?
You know what
I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like you wouldn't do it. Like we don't. I think we don't need that. I love James Harden. He has a dope ass game. He kind of changed it a little bit too with the Euro step. Like nobody was doing any of that. He definitely changed it a lot.
Facts.
And he was doing a lot of different things. I just feel like I'm not even sure what type
Houston
of team
James Harden was a problem. Yeah,
he was a problem.
But then
I hated the way he was cooking motherfuckers.
Yeah, but he was the one who see that because he had to score.
He had to.
See, like when he's on a team that doesn't need him to score, it's different. I feel like it's almost to the fact where his ego has to do with it too, because that's the reason he left OKC. Like you telling me, I'm so competitive. If I was James Harden on OKC when KD, Russell Westbrook was there, bro, I'm staying, because that means the next year, if we just did me coming off the bench, that means we have a big 3 by mistake. We have a big 3 by mistake. We're gonna win at least 2 championships.
Yeah,
but they all separated, and like it's just crazy how people just can't get together and just mesh, and it's just like But that's the way of the sports.
Right.
That's just how it is, and athletes is. But that's why I feel like he wouldn't succeed being on the Knicks. He's gonna succeed. He's already succeeded in life. And on other teams, it's just I don't feel like he's going to mesh well with these guys. I think if we really wanted somebody who will be a little bit better for us in our playing style currently, I think it's going to be PG-13.
PG. The thing that scares me about Harden is that the man has requested a trade from 3 teams in the last 2.5 years.
Forced his way out. Requested a trade is nice, saying it nicely.
You know that exactly.
Forced his way out.
Exactly. I'm being polite, but he forced his way out of 3 teams in the last 2.5 years.
Facts.
Like, come on, bro. Like, get your mind right. And then Q said a great point. He could have been one of the greatest 6-mans ever in OKC, but he wanted the bright lights. He got the bright lights,
and he wanted the bag.
Yeah, he wanted the bag. He wanted the bright lights. He wanted to be that guy, and didn't do nothing with it. Like my man was 2 wins away from beating like one of the hardest Golden State teams ever, and didn't get the job done. Didn't that game 7? They went a horrendous 5 for 27 or something like that.
CP was hurt. To give him a little bit of. To defend him slightly, CP was hurt that game.
When is CP not hurt? Like
when is CP not?
I love CP, but when is CP not hurt? Like
absolutely.
Yeah, but when is he not hurt in the playoffs? He's always hurt in the playoffs.
Playoffs. What do you guys? Yo, Q. What do you think? Now that we listen, speaking of CP, I want to go to you, Q, on this one. Right? This is old news, about a week or so old, but. When CP got traded to
the Wizards.
The Wizards, yeah. I got people in here bugging out right now. I apologize. When CP traded to the Wizards from Phoenix, right? In a turn, he got shipped out to Golden State, right? Yeah. I started scratching my head. I'm saying to myself, part of me thought he would end up on the Lakers, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I thought on the Lakers, they're a little bit older now. AD, LeBron, they got a couple of young pieces too, but AD and LeBron are the 2 centerpieces, the cornerstones of that franchise, right? CP walks the ball up, right? CP plays at a slower pace. I thought he'd be a perfect fit there. He's a distributor. He's a little bit older now. Golden State, like I said, Golden State, they're more of an up-tempo team, a lot of 3-point shooting. He's more of a mid-range guy. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. He's going to come off the bench, probably back up Steph. What did you think when he went to Golden State? What's his role going to be in Golden State? And does that change the dynamic of him, of the Golden State Warriors? Does that improve them, or do they stay where they are? Q,
you want to hit this up first?
I think with Chris Paul, I've been watching a lot of, for some reason, I don't know why. I just seen a lot of Chris Paul interviews recently. And yo, he's just like a really family guy and oriented person. Like cares like that. Like that's what I get from him. That dude's just gonna go to the Warriors, and he's coming off the bench. You know, when Stephon Curry's tired, like what's he gonna do? He's gonna still collect his bag. He's feeding his family. Like I don't really think that's gonna like affect his feelings and ego at this time.
His family, like I know, been good for a long time.
Oh, of course, and this is why I feel like he feels like. Maybe he feels 2 ways. He feels like, hey, look, maybe I do need to stop in because he's always been like somebody who needed to be dependent on. Word. But it's hard to just depend on just a point guard. You know, like it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's very hard. It's almost damn near impossible. I really can't remember any point except Allen Iverson. I think he's the only point guard who ever like. The whole team, 76ers depended on him, got them to the finals, and that's it. But like that's it.
Todd McCullough.
But where do you think it puts the what do you think is Golden State's play on this? Like, you know, they just re-signed Draymond Green to a huge bag. We all knew that was going to happen, right? They wasn't going to let Draymond Green go. He's a Hall of Famer.
Draymond signed a 4-year,
cornerstone of that franchise. But where does they got rid of Jordan Poole, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, had to get that out of there because of the dynamic between him and Draymond. But
Draymond knocked it.
I don't see that as an improvement. I see that as a lateral move almost.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, but if I'm the Warriors, I feel like if I'm the Warriors, it's only because, you know, obviously the Warriors don't have no faith in anybody coming off the bench, especially point guards coming off the bench when Steph Curry's sitting down or Klay Thompson, for anybody to move the ball. Mm-hmm. You know, CP could do that.
Yes.
CP could dish it around. He could give you that veteran knowledge.
Yes.
Yo, it could go a lot of ways. Maybe they just getting them here just to pay him off and teach these guys.
Yes.
You know, they
the
do
veteran
still.
knowledge, though. They're a championship team, though.
Yeah,
Like,
but they haven't
Doesn't
been
matter.
championship.
So who's gonna give you knowledge, man? Draymond Green don't give you knowledge. He just gets mad at you and punches you in the face.
Word. And then
these are savvy veterans, all of them. Clay.
Yeah. But the thing is about what you just said. The thing is that last year, even though they were coming off fresh off of winning the championship, they didn't have nobody coming off the bench that be like, yo, we could trust these guys to take us, over the hump. So CP3 is a guy that could facilitate the team off the bench. Even if they go small ball, imagine a lineup of CP3 at point guard, Curry at the shooting, Clay at the 3. Kuminga at the 4 or Looney at the 4 and Draymond
that's my guy.
at the 5. You know what I mean? That's a mean small ball team. Like who's gonna stop that? That is. So CP3 brings that experience off the bench for them. That could be like, you know what? We didn't have this. The Golden State didn't have this last year, so he could facilitate that bench team. And I give shout outs to Chris Paul for that one stint he had with OKC. I thought he was going to have an abysmal year that year. And he took us into the playoffs. And they almost won their first round matchup. I forgot who they played off the top.
They played like 10 games, right?
Yeah,
I think they played like 10 games.
And I forgot who they played in their first round matchup in the playoffs. And he almost beat the OKC with him. He almost beat that whoever they played. I forgot, like I said, off the top.
Yeah, I remember. I thought he was going to mail it in that year. I said, oh, he's over there. He doesn't want to be over there. Yeah, but what I remember from that. Yeah. But I remember from that is him. That's when I really started buying into the whole point guard thing, and he makes people better. Even though he hasn't won a championship yet, I don't know if he's the point guard, but he definitely makes people better. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he really helped his game out. I feel like the year after CP left there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander became a bona fide superstar, right?
He was I agree.
Took off. I'm dying for that boy to come to the Knicks. Like even when I play 2K, I put that boy on the Knicks. That's the first trade I do. SGA to the Knicks. And you know what?
Let's take a shot for CP. Hold up.
Word up. Before I take a shot, you know what? Let's take a shot.
I can't front on my nigga CP. And let's take a shot for Cliff too. Cliff Paul, and we take it both for Chris and Cliff.
That's it. This shot. Let's go.
The thing I'm mad at the Suns because the Suns were nobody. Even though they had a great run in the bubble, but when CP3 came over there, you could tell CP3 was the guy that took him over the hump. Let him go because now you got KD. I felt like that was fucked up. I felt like that was fucked up in my opinion because he should have been on the Suns team. Yeah. Him, KD, and Booker, they were fine. They just had to get rid of Ayton. I don't feel like even with Bradley Beal now on the team without Chris Paul, I don't see Bradley Beal fitting with that team.
They were a little thin too off the bench. They've given up that depth. That's what you do when you give up. When you a lot of the times when you opt to go a big three, right? You give up that depth off the bench. Mikal Bridges, I thought that was a big time loss for Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wait, they signed. Michael, Mikal Bridges. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the other one
for the KD trade and Cam Johnson.
You need that bench and I think
to Brooklyn.
Yeah, you definitely need that bench. I think the Heat.
I thought they were young bona fide kids on the
Heat. You know what I mean? Like the Heat came in at what? The Heat finished off in 8th place, went to the finals.
Not even. They were
playing 10th, right? 10th. They were 10th place. They lost 10th place. Went to the playoffs.
Yeah, and they lost their first game.
That's all. That's all their bench. I'm not taking nothing away from obviously. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Gabe and Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? But Bam Adebayo. But bro, when you got shooters coming off the bench and people shooting like how they shot against the Knicks, it was disgusting. I was watching it. I wanted to jump out my window. I'm like, they just making everything, and as soon as they play the next team, missing everything. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I see how it is. I see how it is.
Yeah, at first, like obviously we know their names and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, who is this guy? Like, he not built this way. Like that Gabe, game 1 and game 2, Gabe and Strauss and I forgot who else, Martin. They were just going off on the Knicks. I'm like, who are these guys, bro? Who are these guys? Like, these are just guys that just be there. They just be there. And against the Knicks, they just went off. I'm like, why? Why these fucking Cabrones have to go on the Knicks?
Absolutely.
Because they disappeared. I mean, the only person that balled out of those three I mentioned for Miami, like in the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals, was Martin. Martin was the only guy.
Martin did his thing.
Because the other two guys disappeared.
What do you guys think about Dame? What's the situation? What's up with Dame Lillard, man? What do you think about Dame Lillard? Is he moving? Is he staying? I know he says publicly that he wants to stay in Portland, but you're hearing all this fodder and all this, back channel, communication with the media that he possibly could be moving to Miami. You hear Portland. It's like a game of chicken almost. You hear Portland saying that they want to keep him. They want him to be a trailblazer for life. They just signed Scoot Henderson. I'm trying to figure out how does that work? They're both pretty much the same position. They didn't need another backcourt guy. Jeremy Grant just resigned. You sent me that earlier.
Yes, sir.
Where do you see Dame ending up? Is he staying in Portland? Is he going to Miami? Is there another team that we're not aware of that could possibly be in play? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I see a growing traction right now through the social media that looks like him and Winslow, Justice Winslow, could go to Miami. Those two guys to go to Miami. And one thing is, I'm looking at right now, the roster that Portland has. Portland don't got the roster to keep him there. I know one of his dream scenarios was to bring Draymond Green over. They did one move that he wanted. They re-signed Jeremy Grant, but they didn't get Draymond Green. And I'm looking at their roster. Come on now. You got Kevin Knox. You got Nasir Little. You got guys that I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like Cam Reddish left. Really, you only have Anthony Simmons, Matthias Thybulle, who else? Justin Winslow, he's a scrub. Drew Eubanks and Scoot Henderson. Who do you got? Who do you got?
I think Scoot's going to be a baller, but I don't think that's not nearly enough.
No, when you know what? When I felt bad for Scoot when they asked him that question during the draft, and they said, talk to Dame, convince Dame to stay. It kind of reminded me when they did the same thing to Colin Sexton to make LeBron stay. And LeBron said, I'm out, dude. I'm out. So maybe Damian is built a different way because he's been very loyal to that Blazers team.
Facts.
But I feel like even though he leaves and goes to Miami, that'll be better pastures for him. Even though I hate Miami,
indeed.
With a passion. Sorry for being so loud, but
okay, he's staying with the Trailblazers. Damian is staying with the Trailblazers and forever lose. Yes. I don't want that nigga on the East Coast.
Yes. You know what I mean? Stay in the West.
I don't want him in Miami, man. Only if you come to the Pat Riley's scaring me because if all these dudes walked out the door, that's a lot of money that walked out the door. So they're gonna be able to maneuver. Pat Riley, I hate him. I respect him. I hate him because the whole Knicks deal. Fuck Pat Riley, indeed. Dame on Miami is gonna be a big problem, man.